Hi everyone, today I'm making buttery flaky tea biscuits. My mom and I love making these for weekend breakfasts, and in this version you don't need any fancy equipment. You're going to need half a cup of frozen butter, so make sure you prepare this ahead of time. First, add all the dry ingredients to a large bowl. 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, you can add 2 tablespoons if you want them a little sweeter, 1 tablespoon of baking powder. I dropped my phone so I missed filming this going into the bowl. Lastly, add 1 teaspoon of salt and give this a stir. Next, take your frozen butter and cut it carefully into small pieces. I chop mine into pieces about this size. If the pieces are too big, it will create a messy pool of melted butter while they bake. Add the butter to the bowl and use your hands to quickly mix and squish everything together. Don't handle the dough too much because you don't want to melt the butter. Just mix enough so that all the butter is covered and integrated into the dry ingredients. Next, in a measuring cup, combine 3/4 of a cup of milk or cream with 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. If you don't have white vinegar, you can substitute with lemon juice. Add this to your bowl. Mix until the dough comes together and then transfer it onto your counter. I sprinkled some flour to help it not stick. You may not need to sprinkle as much flour as I did, so just gauge depending on how much your dough sticks. Coat a rolling pin in flour to flatten the dough really thin. Once it's flat, fold the dough a few times. This is the process we use to get those nice flaky layers. I like to do this twice. Once that's done, I get the dough ready to cut out. I roll my dough out to about 1/4 inch thickness, and here's a size comparison with my finger. Since there's baking powder in them, they'll rise taller. I'm moving soon, so I don't have the circular cookie cutter I usually use to cut these out, so I just grabbed a regular size drinking glass instead. So anything about this size or slightly smaller is perfect to make between 7 to 10 biscuits. Try to make sure all your biscuits are about the same size, and you don't want them to be too large or thick because then they won't bake fully. When you run out of space, just repeat the process again by rolling your dough really thin and folding it over to create the flakes. I made an example biscuit to compare a flaky medium-sized biscuit with a non-flaky larger biscuit, which I'll show the results for after they're done baking. Bake these at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes, and check under your sheet to make sure there are no butter pieces stuck underneath, otherwise it'll smell like something's burning. And now they're done. The bottom should be a nice golden brown color. And here's the difference between the flaky versus non-flaky biscuits. And as you can see, this biscuit was too large and thick, so it didn't cook fully. I just stuck it back in the oven on its own to cook it more, and then I ate it for breakfast. These are seriously so good and buttery. You can spread jam on them, eat them as breakfast sandwiches, and you can store them in the freezer to keep them fresh for another day. Let me know if you tried this recipe, subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching.